to see you. Let's go. Good morning, all. Welcome to yoga this Monday morning. Starting today, coming into a comfortable seat. Need to come back a little bit further, that looks better. And bringing hands up to the heart. So take a few moments just to arrive, to feel comfortable, to allow your spine to relax downwards to earth and to lift upwards into the sky. If you can visualize, feel the spinal column and this sense of drawing up through the central axis of the body, all the way up above the crown and up into the skies. You feel that lovely sense of lift through the body. And actually that felt really nice. So we will start doing that, bringing your palms now lower down to the belly. And then just pushing them together, elbows out to the sides and letting them rise. Follow the lift of your spine all the way up and then relax and let the palms come back down and into the heart. We'll do that one more time. Really press the palms together here. As you drop them down towards belly, keep that pressure as much as you can. And then allow them to rise. And as your palms rise, allow your spine to rise alongside. Nice deep in-breath as you arrive up to your highest point of a stretch. And then letting everything relax, your palms can float back into the heart. One more time. Really do press the palms together as they lower down to belly. Feel that little pull on the shoulders there, but keep the pressure of palms. Breathing in and lifting, elongating. Reaching up. And then everything relaxing, and palms will arrive back and into the heart. And allow your eyes to shut as you then arrive in sitting, centering yourself. Connect to your breath in the heart. And for a few moments, feeling the heart breathing, feeling your breath touching your body. And your eyes can open again after the next full round of breath. And with your eyes open now, you've got your thumbs in contact with the chest. And we're just going to lightly tap on the sternum, across the sternum. It's like you're knocking on the front door of the rib cage, waking up the heart inside. And we come back to the center point and then back into stillness. Now palms pressing together, and spread your fingers now as your elbows lift up. Keep your shoulders as soft as you can. There may be a temptation there for shoulders to lift up. You can always feel a little bit of bounce in the shoulders, in the elbows. And now feel your belly. So allow your belly and that draw in of the breath into the belly to support the lift of the body. Couple of full deep breaths down into the belly, almost like you're using your belly like a set of bellows. And one more round of breath. And then we reach forward and very lightly bringing your fingertips down to the ground. A little bit of bend for your elbows there. Let the shoulders drop down as your elbows come to the sides. Breathe in. And whenever you start to feel sensation across the groin, maybe into the shoulders, just pausing there, letting that sensation arrive into the flow of your consciousness. Being present to it. And we'll slide the fingertips back up again. And now encouraging your knees to come to the center, support them to do so, and lifting your heels off the ground. And we're just going to bounce the heels a little bit, lifted off the ground, in the air in front of us. Almost like you're swinging your legs a little bit. Now anchor your seat to the ground as you're doing this. So though your feet are airbound, you feel firmly grounded through your seat, quite secure in your seat, in balance. Another breath or so, and then either keeping your heels lifted or dropping the feet down if you prefer. Breathe in, let the arms flow out to the side. The thumbs are facing up here. And then breathe out, you can gather them back up and hug the knees in and up into the chest. Another in breath, arms out to the sides, big stretch out into the body. Out breath, gathering up, hugging in. Now planting your feet a little distance in front of you. The knees are still bent here, feet down to the ground. And we'll do the same. Big in breath, arms out. Big out breath, letting them scoop down. Another in breath, arms flowing out. And we'll pause here, arms out to the sides, thumbs up. Fill up the rib cage, fill up the chest, fill up the back of the body as well as the front. An out breath, folding forward towards your knees, arms coming down. And you're just making yourself quite small. Head can bow inwards. Letting your breath relax, letting everything within the body relax here. Another round of breath. And fingers now coming to the floor, slide them up so they're in alignment with either sides of your hips, and we'll slide the feet out and away from us, toes flexing out. Now, as if you're trying to walk along the floor, push your left heel away from you. Then push your right heel away from you. The left one may slide back a little bit. Just do that from side to side. Left heel, then the right heel. Feel a little tilt through the body as you're doing this. And then bringing your hands to the tops of your thighs, and you're rocking your hands down as you slide your heels from side to side, down the legs and towards the feet. And when you start to feel that opening, that sensation of opening round the backs of the legs into your hamstrings, then coming into stillness and toes pointing up to the ceiling, easing your heels away, flexing the toes back towards you, and open up through your toes. So you can see the tops of the big toe pads, tops of all the other toe pads as well. Create space between each of the toes, elbows out to the sides, and the head relaxing downwards, chin to throat. Let your toes point forward for the next round of breaths. You're stretching the top side of the foot into the top side of the ankle. Nice long stretch along the tops of the feet. Draw your belly downwards a little bit more, like you're concertinaing the body. Another full round of breath. And then breathing in, we're lifting the spine up and your back into sitting. And we're now going to come around and onto all fours of the body. Take a moment to arrive in tabletop, neutral spine. Nice little lift up through the belly. So you're engaging your core here, engaging the belly, and looking down to the mat, in between the hands. Now root down into the heel of the hands, and as you do so, lift up through your shoulders. So the trunk of the body will lift a fraction because you've created space along the arms up into the shoulder blades. Now draw your shoulder blades back. So you're lengthening out then through the spine into the neck. And give yourself a few moments to breathe fully into the shape of the body here. And then from here, we'll root down into the right hand, left arm lifting up, and breathing out, left hand will come underneath the right elbow, taking you towards your left temple, and into a twist down on the mat, hips drawing backwards. The next in-breath, we're going to come into a side stretch, the left arm lifting up into the sky. So next out breath, breathing out, and then in-breath, starting to bring the left arm up, skywards. And giving yourself a couple of breaths also to arrive in that sensation of stretch. Another out breath, bring that left arm back down and under, scoop it under. See how it feels not to touch the floor. So it's always a lift. So you're having to use the right hand to support the body. We move in and out now with the in breath, stretching it up. And with the out breath, coming back through underneath the right elbow. Breathing in, lifting up. And breathing out, back under. Left hand now coming back to the mat. And we'll take the pelvis into a figure of 8 from one side to the other. Note if your shoulders have dropped here a little bit, and then again root down into the heel of the hands just to get that little bit of lift up into your collarbones. And now we're going to lift right arm, and you're going to bring it underneath the left, down onto your right temple, taking a couple of breaths there first. And getting ready to move with your next in-breath. A moment to stretch up and feel that side stretch. Right arm lifting up. Keep rooting down into the left. And then when you're ready to move, the right hand will scoop underneath the left. Keep it lifted off the floor. And breathing in, you'll start to rise it up. Breathing out, goes back under. And breathing in again, lifting up. Couple more rounds. And a last lift through the right arm. And then taking it back down again. Moving forwards into cow. So you're tilting tilting the pelvis up. Nice little curve through the lower spine. Chest lifting. Chin lifting. The gaze lifting up. Couple of breaths here. Really opening up the underside of the body. And then start to tilt your pelvis under. Let your spine curve up towards the ceiling and your head can curve, tuck down. Another in-breath into cow, arching the spine. Out-breath, curving the spine. Starting to move fluidly with your breath from one to the other. Tuning in with the body, with yourself, with the movement of the spine, the movement of mind. We take a few more moments, energizing the spine, energizing the body. And from here, coming back towards your heels, do put some padding underneath the knees here or in between the shins and the pelvis. And walking your hands back in a little bit, then separate the knees as much as feels comfortable, making sure your big toe pads are connecting towards one another. And we'll start to slide the hands away from us. Maybe putting a block or a cushion underneath the forehead. And coming into child, extended legs for a few breaths. One more full round of breath there before you start to walk your hands back up and in. And with hands coming back up and in, we'll bring them all the way back and onto the knees. Now, you've got your knees far apart here. You may want to bring them together so you feel more balanced there. And then in breath, lifting up through your spine. And out breath, curving your spine back behind you, allowing the shoulders to round. So it's almost like a cat and cow, but a vertical cat and cow. In breath, scooping the spine forwards, the gaze comes up. And out breath, chin to throat, the gaze comes down as you curve your spine. As you would in cat and cow on all fours, you can coordinate with your breath. With the in breath, your spine will scoop up. Gaze will lift. And with your out breath, you're curving the spine. Nice full rounds of breath. Waking up your energy, waking up the spine. We're coming into the last one for the moment. And shoulders dropping. Just arriving and sitting, just assess how you feel. Connect to breath. I'm just going to move ahead lightly from side to side on the axis of the spine. You can keep the eyes shut, you can open them here. Just line your gaze to open. As your neck opens, you may want to start slowly here and then slowly increase the range of the movement if the neck does feel stiff. Then pausing, coming back slowly to stationary position and tucking the chin down into the throat. And tuck it far enough so you really feel a stretch across the back of the neck into the tops of the shoulders. And then, being careful on the neck here, allowing the chin to lift up, the gaze will follow. Relax your shoulders down as you look skywards. Nice deep in-breath into the out-breath. And then leveling the skull on the top of the spine. Hands coming up to the heart as we started, palms at the chest. Big in-breath, let the palms lift up. Pushing the palms together. And then out-breath, a big stretch, reaching forwards. Let the palms come down to the mat. Taking you back onto all fours, toes tucking under, and you'll start to lift your knees. Starting with the knees hovering off the mat and then slowly easing back and arriving into down dog. And as you arrive in down dog, you can root down into your heels and you can lift your fingers off the mat very slightly so you feel contact through the heel of a hand with the earth, and then encourage your fingers to spread wide as they earth themselves. They connect back to the floor. Deep in-breath, deep out-breath. Let the out-breath release, let it go from the body. And breathing in, looking forwards and starting to walk your feet up towards your hands, up towards the top of the mat. You'll arrive hips width apart, checking there's a nice parallel line between both feet. And letting your hands come to rest either on the feet, the floor, the shins, the knees, wherever feels comfortable for you this morning. And taking a forward fold. Now in this forward fold, feeling sensation wherever it's arising, maybe the backs of the legs, the back, the lower spine. But see if you can open a bit of space within the body, letting your shoulders draw back, elbows to the sides, space along the back of the skull. And then, hands lifting up, and very slowly you can start to stack vertebrae one on top of the other as you roll your spine up, and you're arriving into standing, into Tadasana. Connecting to the earth in your Tadasana, and then we bring palms up to the heart, into breath. A little bit of light lift through the elbows again, out to the sides of the body. Contact through the palms. In breath, palms will float up. And breathing out, you'll swallow dive the arms out to the sides of the body, into forward fold. Going to lift up again, arms coming out to the sides of the body. It's a big expansive movement. Your palms will turn up at shoulder height. Breathing in, palms will lift above the head, and out breath will bring them back into the heart. Another big circle through the hands to lift them up and above the head. Breathe in, arrive back. And breathing out, open out that circle either sides of the body as you start to fold down, arriving into forward fold. Another big in-breath, start to rise up. Take that circle out, either sides of the body. And out breath, palms to the sides of the body. So in breath, the big circle up. Out breath, big circle down into forward fold. A big in breath, rising all the way up. Out breath, palms back to the sides of the body before you start the next one. In breath. Out breath, forward fold. In breath, rising up. And out breath to the sides of the body. Take one more. And arriving back into Tadasana, sliding your hands down the tops of the thighs so you bend your knees as you do so, and you're arriving into a little chair, hands just on the tops of the knees. Now breathe in, start to root down into the feet as you lift back into standing. The hands will lift up with you. Breathing out, slide back down again. And breathing in, root down into both feet, lift up. Almost like you're standing on a spring. And that's easing you up and down, and standing into your seat. And really connect with your feet as you're doing this, so you do feel contact, each of the toe pads with the earth, both sides of both heels with the earth. So you've really got this four corners of your feet working together. With the neck sliding down of the hands with pause, we're sitting in our chair. And we'll just let the arms now hang by the sides of the body. You can swing them a little bit, so then you can kind of see where your arms are at, where there may be some tension residing in shoulders, in the arms, in fingertips. And from here, we'll see if we can shake out a little bit of that residual tension. First of all, shaking out into the fingertips, shaking the arms, shaking everything off the shoulders. Now start to bounce into the feet, into the knees. And literally shake out anything that the body's holding. And then letting the body settle, letting your feet settle, feeling the weight of the body. In breath, arms will float up. And out breath, finding your way again into a forward fold. And a big out breath as you arrive through the mouth. In breath, we'll offer the spine forward. You can slide your hands up your legs here. Give a little bit more support to the lower spine. Those fingers can come towards the feet. Breathe in. a soft gaze forward. And out breath, palms coming down to the mat and stepping your feet back a comfortable distance, rooting down into heels, arriving in down dog. Another deep in breath as you breathe out, letting it go through the mouth. And we'll take one more round of breath here. Now slowly you're bringing your knees forward and down towards the mat, as if you're coming onto all fours. Hover them just for a fraction off the floor. And at the same time, feel the balls of the feet press back into your heels. Lift up through your shoulders. And we drop the knees down to the floor. You're riding back onto all fours. Now just your hands in a little bit so you feel comfortable in all fours. And draw up through your belly. So really activate your belly here so you're feeling support at the lower spine. And that support will enable you to lift the right arm forwards, stretching out into the right fingertips, thumbs up on top. Another in breath. And breathing out, taking the right arm out and back behind you. The palm can turn up, the palm can turn down, whatever feels right there. Another in breath, take the right arm forward. Breathing out behind you. Couple more. And on to the next in breath, reaching forward. Out breath, right palm down to the floor. Another in breath, the left arm will float forward. Breathe in. And holding there a couple of breaths. Keep using your belly to support the spine. Next in breath, reaching forwards, and out breath, left arm out behind you. Moving with your breath from one to the other. In breath, reaching forwards, out breath out behind you. Couple more. And left arm coming down after the next in breath. Toes tucking under now, and a little bit of lift up through the knees, so you're again hovering them off the mat. Next in breath, we'll take the out breath through the mouth again, knees still hovering. And then we'll find our way back into a down dog. Stepping the feet forward and arriving in a forward fold and giving yourself a few rounds of breath there. In forward fold. And when you're ready to, allowing your spine to roll slowly up into standing. And hands arriving at the heart into prayer. Now anchor your left foot down and then stepping back with your right foot, a nice big wide step, and then turning your feet so they're both facing forward, toes slightly out on an ankle, heels slightly in, so they're on a diagonal here. And as we were doing before to come into our seat, we'll bring the hands up towards the waist, Breathing out, bending the knees, sliding the knees away from us. Breathing in, lifting up, back into standing. And breathing out, sliding the hands down again. In breath, lifting up. Make sure there's no discomfort on the knees here. You don't have to go very far down here at all to kind of get the benefit of the mobility. Out breath, sliding down. And we pause once we're there on that down. So now just let go of your arms. Let them hang in front of you. Nice floppy orangutan arms. Bring your right forearm now down towards your right thigh. So it's quite comfortable there. You've got your palm facing upwards and you're resting on that right thigh with the right arm. Resting the trunk. And in breath, stretch up with your left arm out to the right hand side. So you've got this lovely clear line from your left foot all the way out through the left side of the body and out into the left fingertips. A deep breath there, you can gaze up towards the sky and then breathing out, taking the left palm down, relax it down onto your left thigh and breathing in, the right arm will float up. So you're stretching now that outer side of the right side of the body. Gaze up, breathe in, out breath, right palm comes down, the trunk comes over. In breath, left arm lifts up. Out breath, left palm down, onto the left thigh. And as you breathe in, the right arm will float up. Do a couple more. Moving from side to side with your breath. Letting the weight rotate from one foot to the other. And we'll do one more round together. Excuse my clicking back. Not sure you can hear that or not. Right, hands both coming back to the thighs. Out breath, slide down. Your knees a little bit deeper. And then coming up to the heart with both hands, connecting your thumb to your index finger, the third finger, the fourth finger, and the fifth finger. So you've got a little kind of ball through the palms of the hands. Now, keeping the contact through the thumb, the third, and the fifth, stretching out the second and the fourth fingers away from you. In breath, palms will float out to either sides of the body. And we'll take the palms up, thumb to third, and the fifth finger. Feel that contact, another breath. And in breath, straightening the legs, the palms can float up, above the head. And out breath, you can guide them back down and into the heart. Eyes shutting at the heart. In breath, we're going to come into a star shape, the hands rising up above the head. Breathing in, taking them up on the diagonal. Now, the challenge is without looking at your fingers, again connecting them third to the fifth fingertips, the thumb. So you've got second and fourth stretching away from you. Breathe out, start to drop back down into your goddess pose, knees bending. Feel your feet anchoring you. Take the next out breath through the mouth. We're going to arrive into a forward fold now with wide legs. So you'll guide your hands down towards the floor, towards earth. And once you're there, you can then rotate your heels away from each other. So now the insides of the legs are parallel. You may want to pigeon toe, walk your feet a little bit further away or closer. Rising up onto the fingertips, breathe in, stretch out the spine, look forward. And breathing out, a deep forward fold. And your palms may be comfortable resting on the mat here, or else remaining on the fingertips. That all feels a bit much. Put a bit of bend through the knees, bring your hands up to the shins. And arriving in the next round of breath, long, soft out breath through the mouth. And then you can walk your hands around to one foot and frame that foot. And that will then give you the launch pad to step it back and into down dog again. Starting to draw your knees forward, the shoulders will come above the wrists, hover the knees down towards the floor, and then we drop them down. And from there, we're going to lower the chest down between the hands, and we're arriving on the belly. Hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to move in and out of cobra for a few rounds of breath. Now, be careful of the lower spine here, that you don't feel any compression. If you find cobra a bit too intense moving in and out, do come up onto the forearms, so you're in Sphinx here, and then you can just lower the spine a little bit and then lift it up towards the floor and lifting up. Otherwise, fingers underneath the shoulders, a little bit further forward, and rooting down into the feet, either way, and in breath, we're lifting to a cobra. Out breath, folding back towards the floor. Now just work with your breath, a few moments. We'll do one more. And then arriving down onto the mat, making a little pillow for your forehead. And then we'll bend the knees. And we're going to crisscross them from one side to the other. Lowering the feet back down to the mat. And this time, taking the arms out behind you to the sides of the body, your palms are facing up. Rooting down into the backs of the hands. In breath, rolling your shoulders back. Little gaze forward, the chest may lift a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out, riding back on the mat. Another in breath. Lifting up a little bit, out breath, back down. The next round of breath, we're now going to lift feet, hands, legs. So we're coming into locust, moving in and out there. So breathing in, chest will lift, hands and arms will lift, and the legs will lift. And breathing out, riding back down. Another round. And the last one. And then rolling your way over onto the spine. And with your knees bent, hugging them then into the chest and just rocking on the lower spine for a few rounds of breath. Hug your knees in a little bit tighter to the chest. So you really feel that release through the lower spine. Then coming into happy baby, if you can reach down towards the outer edges of the feet and we'll lift the feet up towards the ceiling, knees coming out to the sides. If it feels uncomfortable, reaching towards the feet, hands could come down the backs of the thighs. So you've still got that sense of weight of drawing the knees apart from one another. Or you might feel more comfortable reaching up towards the shins. Just make sure there though that the shoulders don't start to get tense in rising up. A few rounds of breath here. Elbows are looking to be on the inside of the knees. Yourself another full round of breath. And then we'll drop the feet down towards the floor. Feet together, knees together. And stretching out the arms either sides of the body, you're now in a T shape. Now letting your knees drop over to the right hand side. And then turn your gaze towards the left. When you're ready to, take the knees up to the center line, the head back to the center line, and then dropping both knees together over to the left, and your gaze can turn towards the right. Right back to your center line again. Now take your feet a little bit wider apart from one another, not further away from you, but wider apart towards the edges of the mat. And then dropping both knees down towards the right. So there'll be space between the legs now, almost like you're creating a bit of a mandala shape with the legs. And you can then turn your gaze towards the left. Seeing if you're holding on to anything here. That doesn't need to be held on to, whether it's the jaw, shoulders maybe, tightening somewhere within the body. Just seeing if you can notice any areas like that. We'll bring the knees back to the center line when you're ready. And then dropping them over towards the left. Again, keeping that space between the knees. So you arrive in twist, gaze down the right hand side. Next round of breath, both knees coming to the center line. Now adjusting your feet so you feel them underneath the knees. Lift up the toes, so you're really rooting down into the ball of the foot and the heel. You'll feel a nice stretch across the arches. Letting the toes plant down. Lift up your heels. And anchor the heels back down to the floor. And we'll bring the fingertips up to the shoulders. And then you're going to take the elbows towards one another to the center line. And then you're going to lift the elbows away from you. And then you're going to let the arms open out behind the head. Root down into the feet, all four corners, as you start to lift up into a bridge. Rolling the spine up off the floor. And as you roll the spine up, allow the chin to lift as well, away from the throat. So all the upper part of the chest cavity, you're creating space there, rather than compressing. Let your feet support you, let your belly support you. Final round of breath there. And rolling your spine back down again. And hugging your knees again into the chest. With them, the next couple of moments, bring the feet down to the mat. And with the feet down, you can stretch your legs out in turn. Before you bring hands to the sides of the body, allow your palms to rest on the belly, creating a little triangle shape. Fingertips will connect, the thumbs will connect. Feeling connection. Towards the belly, the energetic center of the belly. When you're ready to, releasing the arms and letting hands come to rest either sides of the body, palms up. Make any last minute adjustments you need to find equilibrium in the body, find symmetry, balance, alignment. The next out breath, allow it to leave the body through the mouth. And then, breath finding its own rhythm, in and out through the nose. And as the body takes rest, allowing the mind to take rest alongside, putting down thoughts if and when they arise, resting with the body. Feeling the breath enter, leave the body. If you want to carry on lying down in Shavasana, then do feel free to do so. Otherwise, bring in a little bit of movement into the body. And when you're ready to, you can bend knees and roll over onto the right hand side. Then find your way, after a few breaths there, up and into sitting. So hands resting down on the lap again, and your eyes shutting. And from the inside of the body, allow the trunk to rise and feel the sense of space this creates within the mind. And into this space, inviting your breath. And hands to the heart. And there, bowing forwards, honouring yourself. And closing your practice. Thank you.